Hello and welcome again to the Lordly Verdict with a very special edition with the help from Frackbox and Lord Francom Brothers. I will be doing a review of World End Club, previously known as Death March Club, by Tokyo Games, with Uchikoshi of Zero Escape and Kodaka of Danganronpa as the writers. I would like to apologize for butchering their names, but I am a Baka Gaijin. Very American, with very fluffy hair. I'm slowly getting anime character haircuts. Now, I'm reviewing this game because, well, I'm a huge fan of both Danganronpa and Zero Escape. And recently I was on Uchikoshi's Twitter, and I actually got to talk with him a bit and realized I should move this review up. Because World's End Club is a dang good game! I mean, it's a spoiler, but yeah. And before I go over it, I should discuss them. Uchikoshi. Yes, Uchikoshi is famous for the Zero Escape series, known for time loops, crazy metaphysics, and cool plot twists with deep characterization. Kodaka is known for brutal death games where you grow very attached to characters and they all die, with even more insane plot twists to the point that they make Kingdom Hearts look like C-Spot Run. And if you've ever played Kingdom Hearts, you know what I'm talking about. I have... Oh, whoa. Anyway, they got together to make their own game studio. It's awesome. I don't know anyone who does drugs, because if I did, I would have to talk to them to get the drugs so I could understand the games. There's also the fact that I don't actually do drugs because it would be very bad, but goes with the joke. Anyway, I played this game, and it takes the best of both of them while avoiding the flaws. Uchikoshi tended to have a bit too much metaphysics, to the point that it's actually surprising if he doesn't have insane metaphysics in a story, which he's actually done once. I'm not going to tell you which game because that would ruin things. And Kodaka, great guy, great plots. He sometimes has one too many twists. Just one more twist than the story really needs. Zero Escape 1 is the perfect one by bringing in, this is actually an apocalypse that would accept you as in a giant hellhole. I'm like, eh? Sorry for spoiling that with Zero Escape, or with Danganronpa 1, but if you've ever played, it's kind of like King Kong dies at the end. And you have no context, it makes no sense, so still, it would possibly get you interested in the games because I didn't even explain it right. But it's still just, that is one more twist than the game needed. This game, it has just as many twists as it needs. The characterization is pitch perfect. And what gets me? This is a children's game. Like, this is explicitly a children's game, admittedly probably for about 10-year-olds. Which means it's E-rated, but they have some fun. Like, the game starts with your standard Kodaka death game. And there will be spoilers, and I apologize for this, but this is a game with so many twists, and such an important twist, that an honest review requires revealing the twist, and in fact, this works better because you actually get a true look at the game. Because the game lies to you. And it is such a beautiful lie. Because, see, it starts off with a death game, okay? They set up everything, get the list of characters, they're slowly picked off one by one, and they introduce the basic things, which appears to just be really at its core just a simple travel from room to room and trigger events. But they're easing you into things. Then you beat the death game and get past the first big major puzzle and one relatively easy platforming sequence. And the death game ends. Everyone turns out to have lived. They bring in the standard mascot who's used to advertise the game, gets action figures, that sort of thing. Evil Clown, I can't even pronounce her name. Just like, I'm evil. You'll hate me for the whole game and you'll finally get vengeance at the end. And you kill her. She's dead. Gone for good. And you escape the death game and the title sequence comes up. That whole thing was a prologue and a fake out. The entire first 15 to 20 minutes of the game are a completely different genre from the rest of the game. And that's what's brilliant. It's a very good one to the point that it comes across as Kodaka parodying his own work and just getting it all done in 15 minutes. He's done Danganronpa. Let's move on to something better. And it is better. It is genuinely better. The graphics are very good with a unique childish tone. There's issues with expressiveness, but good God, this thing at its core is an iPod game. So I forgive it for that. But the graphics go well. There's no real major stuff to come out. The actual gameplay is where I'm going to give it a little bit of a thing. And I hate doing this, but the gameplay is not exactly great. It's not bad, but it's not great. Like, it's distinctly average. This is where it being a child's game really hurts it, because it can't be hard. Your character only has one hit point. You play as one of the 12 kids. And you can jump up and down, go through platforms, etc. Like a bit of a hard-to-control Mario, though the platforming's never hard. And you kill enemies by using a special move that every kid has. And one shot kills any enemy except bosses. Every kid has an additional special move, but it really amounts to getting the timeline for the move just right and then using it. And it's usually pretty easy timing. Like, I only really died when I didn't recognize a trigger or what I was supposed to do, are the ability required to charge up. And when you die, you just go back for like a minute of gameplay max. This is very similar to Super Meat Boy, where you're supposed to just do this one little screen, move on to the next screen, kind of thing. There are no definite screens like that, but it feels like that. That said, what does make it? He's not afraid to play with the formula. At its core, the engine is a puzzle platformer. And this had two people behind it. I have to, again, give props to Uchikoshi. And yes, I am having to look up his name on my iPod, which you can't actually see because the screen is bright, because I am terrible at names. And I'm actually sending this to the guy's Twitter because he's awesome. And the game's just very good at using that to get various genres. Stealth games, more action games, real platforming, all of it comes from the same engine. And while it's never difficult, it's not really that never unfun or boring. And it's done in pretty good bite-sized chunks, and I always wanted more. And it's interspersed with the story. And this is where the game works so well. The story is just beautiful. I mean, it's not like Ghost of Tsushima beautiful, but it's still really, really good. You never know when the twists are coming, and they keep twists coming. And all the twists make sense and add to the characterization. At its core, this is the story of a journey of 12 kids to adulthood, which is your standard formula number 12. But it's a dang good job of it. Every one of the kids has a distinctive character, if not necessarily a deep character, but they're distinctive. And the two people do a very good job of pacing it. Every stage leads to a new reveal and a new scrap of information. Every stage, one of the kids takes center stage, introduces their character, introduces their conflict, and every one of them has a very distinctive personality. Scientist, fat kid, the Kamen Rider obsessed kid, or Power Rangers depending, the I'm standoffish because I have deep personal issues, the just utterly spacey girl, the hippie, all of them, oh, the gamer kid, have real character. And the game does a good job of slowly introducing the plot to the point where at the start, you can't even tell what genre the game is. Like, is this sci-fi? Is this fantasy? Is this supernatural? What's going on? Is there a dimension shifting, time shifting? What's up with this game? Because in a very real sense, Kodaka and Uchikoshi games really rely on disguising what the game is about until the reveal. Once you know what the game's about, everything falls into place, or you have one reveal too many, as I mentioned previously. This game's not having that. Not only that, while it gives every character their own focus, it makes sure to have the real main protagonists getting their development in the background. So, while they have 12 kids, they manage to juggle them all well, and that, according to Uchikoshi himself, was supposed to be impossible. No, I'm not kidding. He wrote an essay on how 7 is the maximum number of characters you can have in a game. No, not 7. 9. No, it actually was 7, because he took out 2. I forget. Like, there's a very specific limit, and it's not 12. And he broke that. He went beyond the limit. And it worked so well. And I have to applaud him for that. And he did it in a kid's game. And this is a game that I just recommend to everyone, especially because it's one fun thing. The thing's free. Not kidding. The game is free on Apple Arcade. You only get the first act, but I'm pretty sure they're going to update it when the rest of it comes out, and the game is worth it. I mean, if you only get Apple Arcade for this, you're getting a game with plenty of gameplay, 10, maybe 15 hours, for $5 a month. And you'll be through it in a weekend, and it'll be a good weekend. I give this game a 5 out of 5. I seriously recommend, as soon as you finish this video, if you own an iPod, get Apple Arcade, buy the game, download the game right now. You don't really buy it because it's free. Play it, and you'll enjoy it. And it'll bring you to the other games. Especially happy Zero Escapes on PS4 and Xbox, since it got stuck on DS and then the iPod version went away. Because the game's good. Danganronpa is also on them, and Death Comes True. This is the game that'll introduce you to their library, and it will be so worth it. Go play the game now. It is exceptional. My only regret is that I can't translate this to Japanese yet, and I may have to actually contact a friend. See you. I hope you have fun. I actually think I'm going to replay through the game now. Bye.